Hello students, welcome to online classes of Geography of class 8. This is my third class of your chapter number 5, Minerals and Power Resources. Till previous class we discussed about different types of minerals, their uses, their distribution. Now today we will discuss about the topics that why there is a need to conserve the mineral resources, how we can conserve it, and then comes the topic energy resource. What is actually energy resource and what are its types? So these are the topics that are listed out for today's discussion. So let us proceed with the first topic. Now, need of mineral conservation. Now first of all, I am just saying something which is not mentioned over here, but it is considered now mining activity. The workers, those who are engaged in the mining activity, they are facing lots of problems due to the the poisonous gases that emits out at the time of extraction. So they are means their health is being affected. It's affected due to those emission of those poisonous gases. Secondly, when these extraction takes place, the loss there is the loss of the land structure is there. That means there is a land degradation. Then the waste is being dumped out nearby the mining areas, then also it degrades the land, and when the surface runoff just flows through these waste particles, then it penetrates through the lower layers. So what is the resultant? It contaminates the underground water also. So as a result, what we can see that minerals are an essential part of our life, but these are considered as hazards of mining, affecting the human health, affecting the environment. So it is considered as a killer industry. Mining industries are also considered as killer industry. Now whatever it is, whether it is a killer industry or whether it is having lots of hazards, but then too we cannot stay without mineral, we cannot survive without mineral. So for this reason there is a need to conserve the mineral resource, because most of the minerals are not so very fast replenishable, they are basically exhaustible in nature. So why there is a need to conserve the mineral resource? Number one, because these are considered as the most valuable resource. Okay, it is the most valuable possession or the valuable resource, are the country's most valuable wealth, we can say valuable wealth. Secondly, minerals are indispensable part of our life. Almost everything we use is made up of minerals, so it is very much important. I just gave an example that our day starts or begins with toothpaste and toothbrush, and our day ends up by switching off the light. So from this entire beginning of a day till the end, we are dependent on mineral. So if there is no mineral, that means our sustainable, that is our sustenance will at stake. So it is minerals are very important part of our lives. That is the reason we need to conserve the mineral. Third, the role of the mineral is very important in all the sectors of the economic activities. If we take primary sector, basically agriculture, the implements that are there for the agricultural activity, it is made up of metals, that means again a mineral is there. If we are proceeding to the secondary sector, the machineries, which is a mineral that is made up of minerals, and then comes the distribution part, that is tertiary sector, the transportational network, their tracks, their that is the structure of the vehicles, everything is there with the help of the mineral. So, all the sectors of an economy basically depends upon mineral. So, it is having an important role in the economic activities. Number 4, they require a lot of time to be formed. As I said, the rate of replenishment is very slow compared to the rate of consumption. So, as a result, we need to conserve the mineral resources. And lastly, why? There are many minerals which are basically exhaustible in nature. So, for this we have to conserve. Now, if these minerals get exhausted, what will be the condition in the future time? So, there will be a stagnation in the development. So, we have to protect this, and that is the reason we have to accelerate the rate of economic development by conserving the mineral resources. So, now how we can conserve it? Just we will proceed to the next, that what are the ways of mineral conservation, or what are the measures of conservation of mineral. Number 1 is we have to improve our technology. We have to improve our technology, that is basically involves, now our technology is there that where the good quality of the or the good grade of the minerals are there, those are getting extracted, and the poor inferior qualities are just kept in the reserves only. So, we have to improve our technology where we can use the low grade ores also, or the minerals also, and from that we can use it so that the burden on the good quality will comparatively reduce. That means it is optimum utilization of that mineral content. Secondly, strict regulations by the regulatory bodies to ensure that resources are mined responsibly. Now, there is a strict regulation. Now, basically it is those who are there in the industries related to the mineral. Most of the industries are profit oriented. So, when they are profit oriented, so they will be indiscriminately using these resources, means these mineral resources, and at that moment the extraction will be at a large scale, and obviously it will lead to exhaustion of that mineral. So, only the judicious utilization should be there, and that should be strictly controlled by a regulatory bodies. Third, recycling of the minerals. Now, recycling of the minerals, I am just giving a very common example. The female section is very fond of gold jewelries, but the design changes according to the time period. So, now if the design get old fashioned, what they used to do? They used to give the old jewelries to the goldsmith, and the goldsmith melt it once again, and again it just give a new design and make that ornament. So, what is this? It is going on recycling of the minerals. Secondly, I am just giving another example. Suppose there are some accidents for the railways. So, the railway compartment becomes condemned. So, what is the resultant? It is made up of a mineral, a metal. So, those condemned railway compartments can be put up into the blast furnace, and we can extract out the metal from there. Or if there are some rusted metals, we can just put up into the blast furnace, and then again it can be reused. This is considered as a recycling of the minerals. Number 4, using alternative sources. Now, iron is a exhaustible resource. Comparatively, the rate of replenishment is very slow, but the consumption rate is too very high. So, where it is possible that the need can be fulfilled by using PVC pipes. Okay, hopefully you know PVC, what is a PVC pipe. So, by using the PVC pipe, we can reduce the burden on the iron pipes. In this way, we can find out the substitute where it is possible to just make the substitute that can reduce the burden on those exhaustible minerals. And lastly, minerals should be used in a planned and sustainable manner. So, this is the very most important way to conserve the mineral, that the utilization should be very much planned and it should not only meet the demands of the present generation, it should think for the future generation too, that is in a sustainable manner. So, in this way we can conserve the mineral resource. These are the measures of conservation of mineral. Now, the next topic is related to energy resources. Now, what is an energy resource? Now, energy resource is something that basically produce heat, and when it generates heat, what is the impact of it? It is there to run some machines, it is there to move some objects, means the machineries, it produces electricity, that the stored energy electricity, and when we just store this energy, we term it as a fuel. What is fuel? The stored energy is a fuel. Okay. So, what is energy resource? It is actually the heat, the power that helps to run some objects by generating electricity, and when we are storing out this energy, it is termed as fuel. So, energy resources are classified into two categories. Now, these two categories are there on the basis of its nature, on the basis of its characteristics. So, on the basis of the characteristics of energy resource, we are having two categories. One is conventional energy resource, another one is non-conventional energy resource. Now, quickly we will see what are the resources that comes under the conventional energy and what are the resources that comes under the non-conventional energy. So, the one that comes under the conventional energy, number 1 is coal, number 2 is petroleum, number 3 is natural gas, and number 4 is electricity. Now, here electricity is thermal electricity, okay, which is the conventional energy resources. Non-conventional energy resources are solar energy, wind energy, biogas, tidal energy, geothermal energy, and lastly nuclear or atomic energy. So, these are the non-conventional sources of energy. Now, quickly we will just do the difference, or will just proceed with the characteristics of these two types of energy resources in a differentiating manner. Now, you just see the picture. I am just showing the picture first and then I am going to proceed with the differences. Now, just see the picture. Number 1, this is conventional resource, this is coal, this is petroleum, okay, this is electricity, and this is natural gas. So, the conventional energy resources are of 4: coal, petroleum, electricity, that is thermal electricity, and number 4 natural gas. And here we can see the pictures of the non-conventional energy resource. Number 1 solar energy, number 2 wind power, number 3 geothermal energy, number 4 biogas, number 5 that is there for the atomic energy or the nuclear energy, and number 6 is the tidal energy. So, these are the non-conventional sources of energy. Now, just look into the differences between these two types of energy resources. Now, the first point of difference is number 1, the usage period. That means from which period the conventional energy resources are in use and from when we have started using the non-conventional energy resources. So, if we see the usage or the period of use, The non-conventional energy resources are the recent one. That means it is a recent development. But compared to that, the conventional resources are the early times, that it has started from the ancient times. Okay, that is the first point. Second, availability. The second point of difference, that is the basis or the criteria to make the difference is availability. So, conventional resources are limited and cannot depend for the future. That means if it is exhausted, then future the future times there will be no resource present coming under the category of the conventional energy. So, it is limited its availability, and non-conventional one, it is in abundance for the future use. Okay. So, non-conventional are in plenty quantity, that is its availability. Now, third is nature. What is the nature of the conventional and non-conventional? The nature of the conventional is exhaustible. They get exhausted very fast, but non-conventional are inexhaustible in nature. Next point of basis is renewability. Now, conventional are non-renewable. It cannot be renewed. Just giving an example, when we burn the coal, what is the residue? The ash. Can we reuse the ash and can we again make it into a coal? Which is not possible. So, conventional resources are non-renewable, but the non-conventional resources are renewed. Once we are getting the energy from the sun again or from water, again it can be renewed. So, that is why it is renewable. Next, the response to the environment. Okay, what is their response to the environment? Now, conventional resources are basically the polluted one. That means they pollute the environment, because when these resources generates energy, they emit lots of poisonous gases and smoke. So, conventional resources are polluting in nature, but non-conventional energy resources are eco-friendly. They don't emit out any such type of poisonous gases. Next, the cost. The conventional resources are comparatively costlier. Now, why it is so? Because every time we have to extract out the resource from the earth's interior and then we have to generate the energy. So, the costing of mining is also included each and every time for the generation of the energy. But non-conventional, it is not there to extract out from the earth's interior. It is in a natural way which is present in the environment, like sunlight, then comes the wind, then comes the earth's interior heat, then tides. These are there which is naturally present. We know there is no need to extract it out every time from the earth's interior. So, what is it? These are comparatively cheaper. And and another point can be added up over there, which is not written over here. It can be conventional resources are localized. Everywhere we cannot find out petroleum, everywhere we cannot find out coal, everywhere we cannot find out natural gas. So, they are having certain locations. So, these are localized resources, and non-conventional are ubiquitous. Everywhere we can get the sunlight, everywhere we can get the there is the wind, the coastal areas, everywhere we can get the specifically coastal areas, but it is a vast stretch. It is not just like of a small area where the coastal areas are there, a vast stretch where we can get the tides. So, these non-conventional energy resources are ubiquitous. Okay, it's there is the location, its concentration is one is localized and another one is ubiquitous. And then comes the example, coal, petroleum, natural gas are the example of the conventional, and solar, wind, solar energy, there is sunlight, wind, tides, earth's interior heat. These are considered as a sources of the non-conventional energy resources. So here I have completed the categories of the energy resources explaining their characteristics in a differentiating manner. Your work will be to just do the write the differences and the other notes in that order in your copy, means up to date your work. And if you are having any doubts, without any hesitation, feel free to mention it in the comment section. And thank you for following my class. Have a nice day.